Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I made a few videos lately where I claimed that, according to my assessments of the articles I can read on the Western media and in Ukraine, something major happened, and that is a little switch was turned on in allowing them to tell us a little bit of a criticism on the Ukrainian offensive or military or their corruption. They allow us to look behind the how do you call it, the curtain, to see the reality. I mean, that reality exists, and you can look at it via other media outlets and get your information, but not from the West. If you remember, for the past year and a half, the West, the free media, was telling us that Ukrainians are winning, they can do no wrong, their shit doesn't stink, everything was fantastic. And I think about 2 months ago I saw a change in the way the West reports, which is they're doubtful, the counteroffensive, for instance, is successful or it advances. There might be corruption, those people might do this, and things that are like, oh, the support for Ukraine falters, maybe they cannot win, maybe they're not as good, maybe we should do this. Now, could be some other reasons why they switched this on. That I think one of the reasons is they're really trying to, how should I put it, access plan B, which is, let's see how we can now pretend that we don't lose and pretend that we're not involved in it, so actually we were on the right side, and now we start criticizing. We were never crazies, okay? We never been delusional. No. Here it is, the example. We criticized them in the past 2 months out of 1 year and 8 months or so? Not 8 months, 7 months or so. So let me show you this article coming from The Hill. So this is another example of how such an article and this kind of title would have not been available, let's say, 5 months ago or 10 months ago. You might say, well, because it didn't happen. I don't think so. I think they tried, and they didn't succeed. But try again next time. There's not going to be a next time. As Victoria Nuland said, we're not going to do this again. She told the Ukrainians in one of her little televised teleconference with the guys, this is the only time. Because if they don't succeed now, that's done. Russia passed the test of not being destroyed. Therefore, they're going to get stronger. Because they're going to form, as they are in the BRICS and other Shanghai Cooperation Organization and so on. Fears of peace talks with Putin rise amid U.S. squabbling. So U.S. is squabbling, so then they're afraid that they will talk to Putin. Well, you can't destroy him, obviously. Therefore, what are you going to do? Keep doing what you've been doing? One of the definitions of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. So Eastern European countries are raising alarm over Ukraine potentially being pushed into peace talks with Russia. Pushed by whom? We've been told for a year and a half and more that only the Ukrainians will make the decisions. The Americans said it many times. Only the Ukrainians will make a decision if they want to negotiate. So what are these guys talking about? Who's lying? Who's going to push them? If they said, if I tell you my name is Emil Kosman, and I say, well, actually, my name is, Tom Jones. Someone's lying somewhere. Either way. So here we have potentially being pushed into peace talks with Russia. That's where they're going to get, but the Russia will take all. Russia did not get in this one and say, you know what, I'm going to go half measure here. Like that joke that I make with that Irish guy. The joke I've been told many times by an English guy. A friend of mine, I mentioned that joke many times about swimming across the English Channel. The English guy told me, he was English. You gotta take a note. He told me this, and he was making fun of everybody, including hairy Romanians. I was a hairy Romanian for him. Sweaty hairy Romanians. So, yeah, he was right. I'm hairy and I'm sweaty, so what do you want? There's reality. Okay, make fun as much as you want. I don't really care. There's other things that I care more than this kind of statements. Anyway, so it was very funny. And he kept saying about the Irish guy who swam the English Channel to reach France. He got halfway and he got tired and he turned back. So the Russians will not do this. They're not going to go half measure and say, now, okay, you want to talk, let's talk. We're going to talk, but our 4 reasons for the unprovoked war, we're still going to achieve them. If you don't want to agree to those 4, we're going to keep going. So let's go. It's only rock and roll. I guarantee you that. 99%. So it says here, amid growing partisanship in Washington, hesitation and delays in weapons supplies to Kiev, and waning public support. All this is true. Well, partisanship in Washington, it's just because some strata of the population is allowed to speak. That's it. The politicians are not going to do the right thing. That's not why they're over there. They're over there to be in power. Whoever, however, legally be in power. So they care about the people and some interests in the back. Now, who are those interests? Or what are those interests? Well, you probably already know them. And now don't tell me it's like, oh, why we're going to be against the war, this is because the population, the votes, it's coming, and the public support went like this, even before it was not, 90%. So they tapped, and that's why they were all for it, and because their sponsors, the donors, that you would call donations, campaign donations here in the United States, as we call them here. If that would happen in Turkey or in Romania or other country, it would be called a bribe. But here it's called campaign donation. That is, I give you this so you can go over there and do my thing. Or you can say, well, it's just a job. I just want it to be a job. It's not legal. So you can make bribe legal if you want, to just write down a law and then that's it. You make it if you want. Well, you're a medic, you have your income, and I give you some money to do this for me. So what? I pay you for your services. It's a bribe over there, right there, to do that illicit thing. What illicit? You're going to provide a service. I will pay you for it. You see? It's just by convention. So while President Biden and other allies have promised to support Ukraine for as long as it takes, the countries bordering Russia and Belarus, the ones with a big mouth, considered a puppet state for the Russian. The countries bordering Russia and Belarus, which is Poland and the Baltic states. And now they tell us this. What is this? The Hill. This is how they define Belarus. Belarus is considered a puppet state for Russian President Vladimir Putin. If Belarus is considered a puppet state, what is Ukraine then for the United States? What is Germany for the United States? If you give me the nuclear weapons and the military, the Russians did not do anything that the United States didn't do already. In Germany, they have troops and nuclear weapons. They have a war against another country in Ukraine. Ukraine does yes, says what the other guys say. So what are you talking about? I guarantee you the Hill will not refer to Poland, Germany, Netherlands, Denmark, you can take almost all the entire Europe, Romania as puppet states. They're not going to refer to them like that. They refer them to partners. Right here in the same sentence. So the countries bordering Russia and Belarus, parentheses, considered a puppet state for Russian President Vladimir Putin, end of parentheses, argued that international partners need to lay out a path for decisive victory for Kiev. So they are partners, but the other ones are puppets. This is the Hill. So when you read this kind of garbage, what are you going to do? Well, just understand who's who, what's what. So anyway, they wonder, what do we need to do? Plan for Ukrainian victory, not plan to stand with Ukraine as long as it needs, as long as it requires. Now, Lithuanian educated in certain areas that I covered, this guy, Lithuanian Foreign Minister, Gabrielius Landsbergi, said this, and everybody is happy about it, and he hopes to get a better job somewhere and be promoted for his stupidity. But he will be, because this kind of statements are a badge of honor among them. He's not fighting. He wants other people to fight. That's why he can say whatever he wants. He can be as tough as as tough as he wants, but narcissist, you think? Anyway, so he's gonna talk how much he wants because he thinks the Russians will not hit him. Remember, if tomorrow you just remove the United States from the existence of this planet, let's say there's no such a thing as United States, these guys will talk differently. Differently. They will become reasonable. All right? Not like this. But it's like those little hyenas that hide behind Scar, the lion with a black mane in the, Simba, the movie, The Lion King. Simba, a little weasel over there. You got Scar with character, and the weasels around, which were the hyenas, strong when Scar, the lion, the bad lion, which I liked, by the way, it was around. When Scar was gone, the hyenas behaved. Why? Because, they knew the difference in importance. I mean, you have Netherlands, or this Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, total population about 5 million people. They talk loud and they're tough against the Russians. I mean, really? It's embarrassing. The Russians can do if the Russians just fall asleep and they lay on their side, they're going to squish these countries. Now, even if they put the elbow back down, it's going to squash all of them. And Poland talks, and they say, hey, you can squash Ukraine, you're going to be not going to be able to squash us. In Ukraine, it's not Ukraine only fighting, it's all of you. So Russia fights what? 30 countries. What are you talking about? If it's one-on-one, you saw Ukraine's power in April 2022. In 2 weeks, they were waving the white flag. Let's talk with the Russians. And then the other guy said, no, we're jumping in, man. You keep going. Okay, sir, we'll do it. The same with Poland. They arm themselves, but still. Nuclear weapons? No. And what? You're 40 million people. The other guys are 150. Anyway, but I know the Poles have balls. I don't deny that. But you need more than that, So anyway, here it is, my friends. I think the support is waning, and they're afraid. The Hill says that the Americans will pull the plug. They will pull it. They will pull it sooner or later, unless the other side collapses entirely, which I don't foresee it happening now. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.